I caught my husband balls deep in my sister on the kitchen island where I'd prepped Thanksgiving turkey for 8 straight years. Her nails digging into his back like she was claiming territory she'd squatted on for free. That's the moment I realized temporary was just code for till death do us steal, and I was the one who'd handed over the keys to my own goddamn prison. But the real gut punch? She'd been paying the mortgage with money from the life insurance policy on our son, the one she'd sworn she'd never touch after the accident I took the fall for. The rain hammered the roof of our split level in Bethesda like it was trying to wash away the last 8 years. But sins like Mia's don't rinse off that easy.
Imellar gruba.
42. The kind of woman who used to pride herself on being the rock, steady job as a paralegal downtown. Weekends coaching my kids' little league. And a marriage that, if not fireworks, was at least a reliable pilot light. Until Mia showed up with her duffel bag and that crocodile tear story about her latest deadbeat boyfriend kicking her to the curb. Just till I get on my feet. She'd sobbed into my shoulder at Reagan National. Her perfume, some cheap knockoff of Chanel, clinging like a bad omen. That was March 2017. The cherry blossoms barely unfurling. And Tom, my Tom, with his easy grin and calloused hands from fixing up old Volvos, had clapped her on the back and said, "Family's family. Couch is yours."
Family.
What a crock. Mia was my half-sister. Same mom. Different dads. Hers a fleeting musician who'd bailed before she could walk. Mine a accountant who stuck around till the cancer took him when I was 15. Mom always favored her. The wild one. The sparkler to my steady candle. Bailouts were my love language. Hers was borrowing and breaking. But blood's thicker than the Potomac. Right? So we cleared out the guest room. Well, half cleared. Since it doubled as Tom's home gym, and she slotted in like a puzzle piece we didn't know was missing. Or so it seemed. At first, it was golden hour bullshit. Mia? 28 then. All leggy confidence and graphic tees from dive bars I'd never set foot in. Took over the cooking. "You work too hard, sis," she'd say, plating up pad thai that tasted like Bangkok street food, while I kicked off my heels and Tom shoveled it in like a man starved. She'd babysit Jake, our boy. 7 that spring. All freckles and gap-toothed questions about dinosaurs, without a gripe. Turning bedtime into puppet shows that had him giggling till his sides hurt. "Aunt Mia's the fun one," he'd whisper to me. And I'd smile because, yeah, I was the enforcer. The one who made him brush twice and eat his greens. Balance. That's what we called it over late-night Chardonnays on the deck. Fireflies winking like conspirators. Tom squeezing my knee under the table. "She's turning it around, babe." Good for us. But cracks spiderwebbed early if you'd squint. Mia's job hunt stretched like taffy, freelance graphic design. She said, tapping away on her laptop in yoga pants that hugged her like a second skin. Tom noticed, hell, every guy in a 10-mile radius did. She'd lounge by the pool we put in with our savings, scrolling TikTok. Her laugh carrying over the fence to the neighbors' barbecues. She's healing. I defend when Tom's buddy Carl raised an eyebrow at poker night. And the money? She'd Venmo us for rent. 200 here, 3 there, but it was pocket change. The kind that buys lattes. Not gratitude. Then came the accident. September 2018. Labor Day weekend. The air thick with grill smoke and unspoken regrets. We'd piled into the Subaru for Ocean City, me shotgun. Tom driving. Jake buckled in the back with Mia shotgunning the snacks. She was tipsy from rows we'd cracked at the house. But it was light. Bubbly. The kind of buzz that makes you sing along to Springsteen. Born to Run blasting. Windows down. Salt air whipping our hair. Mia was in the back with Jake, braiding his curls, promising him hermit crabs and funnel cake. I turned to snap a pic, our life in pixels. Perfect for the gram. The deer exploded from the treeline like a ghost on meth. Tom swerved, tires screaming, but Mia, God, Mia, yanked the wheel from behind, screaming about the kid. Or so she said later. The car fishtailed, clipped a guardrail, flipped once,
Twice.
metal shrieking, glass shattering like brittle promises. I blacked out to Jake's wail cutting sharper than shrapnel. Woke up in shock trauma Baltimore. Tubes snaking my arms. Tom pacing the hall with a gash on his forehead.
Mia.
Miraculously unscratched, perched on a stool, holding my hand like a saint. You saved us.
Él.
You grabbed the wheel.
Jake.
Jake didn't make it. Internal bleeding. They said. Too fast for the paramedics. 8 years old. Gone because a deer decided to play chicken and my sister panicked like a rookie driver in a demolition derby. The cops came. Breathalyzer on Mia clocked a .08, barely over. But enough for vehicular manslaughter if it stuck. Tom's eyes begged me in that sterile room, the beeps of monitors mocking our wreckage. She's family, he mouthed. And I was the paralegal, the one who knew the system like the freckles on Jake's nose.
So elite.
Told the investigators I was the one who'd been drinking, nurse's word against mine. But I had the bruises, the steering wheel imprints on my palms from the flip. Manslaughter dropped to reckless endangerment. I pled out to probation, community service, a fat fine that gutted our emergency fund. Mia cried at the hearing, swore she'd make it right. I'll pay you back. Every cent. For everything. She didn't. Not the fine. Not the therapy bills. Not the hole in our chests where Jake used to be. But she stayed. I can't leave you now, she'd whisper during those first hollow months, folding my laundry while I stared at the ceiling. Tom snores a foreign language in the dark. She handled the funeral arrangements, simple pine box, scattering ashes at Assateague where he'd chased wild ponies. She sold her beater Civic to help, but the check bounced. Still, she was there, a shadow sister, flipping flapjacks on Sundays, binging true crime pods with me till dawn. Tom thawed first, hugs lingering a beat too long, her head on his shoulder during movie nights. She's grieving too, he'd say when I'd stiffen. Grieving? She walked away without a scratch. By year 3, the guest room was hers outright, gym equipment relegated to the garage, her art supplies colonizing the dining table. She landed a gig at a boutique ad firm in Silver Spring. Real money now, flashing pay stubs that cover her share of the cable bill and little else. But the house, our mortgage, our equity, ballooned under the weight of my legal fees and Tom's overtime fixing tourist beamers. Mia suggested the life insurance payout, Jake's policy. 50 grand, untouched in a drawer like a dirty secret. For the house.
Él. Stability.
He'd want that. Tom nodded. Eyes glassy, I signed, the pen heavy as regret. Checks cleared. Payments eased. Mia volunteered to manage the app, our smart home system.
Door codes. Lights.
I'm good with tech, she'd chirp, fingers flying over her phone. Convenience. We called it. Control. I see now. Year 5. The flirting went fluorescent. I'd come home from depositions to find them in the kitchen, her hip cocked against the counter, his laugh too rich, her touch on his arm like static electricity. Just joking around, Tom'd say, pecking my cheek with lips that tasted like her lip gloss. Mia'd bat her lashes. Jealous. Big sis? Lighten up. I'd swallow it. Chalk it up to cabin fever. The pandemic lockdowns turning our McMansion into a pressure cooker. We Zoomed therapy. Masked up for grocery runs. Mia emerging as the hero, maskless walks with Tom while I quarantined a mild case. Her baking sourdough that rose higher than my suspicions. But the secret festered. I'd catch her on calls late at night. Voice hushed. Yeah. It's handled.
No traces.
Traces of what? The accident report I'd buried in my mind like Jake's ashes. Or something uglier. Mia had always been slippery, petty thefts in high school. A bounce check here. A borrowed credit card there. Mom covered till she couldn't.
Now. Me.
The betrayal simmered. But I stirred it down.
Family.
Stability. Year 7. The flips started. One night. Post-vino. She cornered me in the powder room. Tom's checked out.
Él.
You see that? Right? The accident broke him. Broke us all. Her eyes. Mirror of Mom's. Hard as quartz. I laughed it off, nerves. Wine, but she pressed. I'm not blind.
And neither's he.
The next week, she, accidentally, left lingerie in the dryer. Lace the color of sin. Tom's gaze lingered on her during dinner. Fork midway to mouth. I confronted him in bed. Sheets cool between us. It's nothing, he sighed. She's family. Echoes. Then, last month, 8 years to the week, she dragged that duffel through our door. The app pinged. Door code changed.
Ours.
The one we'd shared for security. Now locked to Mia's thumbprint alone. I stood on the porch in the downpour. Key fob dead from the storm. Punching in overrides that bounced back invalid. Through the fogged window. Silhouettes. Her straddling him on the island. Moans muffled by thunder. And the checkbook, Jake's money. Funneled into renovations she'd spearheaded. New deck. Smart fridge. Her nest egg. Paid in full. The mortgage statement mocked from my email. Signed over in Tom's looping script. I didn't bang on the door. Didn't scream. Just watched. Rain mixing with the hot tracks on my cheeks. Plotting the unmaking of their little empire. Revenge isn't a dish. It's a slow poison. And I've got the recipe. The drive to my cousin Rita's in Arlington felt like fleeing a sinking ship. Wipers slapping rhythm like a metronome to my unraveling. Rita, divorced twice. Runs a yoga studio off U Street. Didn't pry when I showed up soaked. Mascara, rivers. Babbling about door codes and betrayals. Crash here, she said, thrusting a mug of chamomile and her spare key. Tomorrow. We lawyer up. Lawyer up.
Ha.
I'd spent a decade untangling other people's knots for chump change at the firm. But this was personal. A Gordian mess of blood and bucks and bedsheets tangled wrong. Sleep dodged me like a tagged perp. Mind replaying the scene. Mia's head thrown back. Tom's hands on hips that weren't mine. The keypad's red glow like a devil's wink. By dawn. Caffeine-fueled. I was on my laptop, Rita's ancient Dell wheezing like an asthmatic, diving into the digital detritus of our shared life. Bank apps first, Jake's policy. Dispersed in drips to the mortgage. But anomalies popped like whack-a-moles. Transfers to Mia's account, $5,000 here for design software, $3,000 for travel, while our joint savings atrophied. Tom's signature on the deeds. But her fingerprints on the apps. She'd been siphoning. Slow and sly. Flipping from freeloader to fiduciary phantom. Deeper dig, the accident file. Sealed but not buried in Maryland's court archives. My plea. My probation, clean record otherwise. Thank God, but Mia's breathalyzer scrubbed by some tech-savvy edit?
No.
She confessed in a drunken ramble year 4. Post-bong hit during a girls' night that wasn't. I swapped the data.
Él.
Hacked the precinct server. Oh, you eternal. Eternal. She'd paid with proximity. Or so I thought. But the real bomb? Cross-referencing her freelance gigs, invoices to shell companies, logos for crypto scams I'd seen splashed on CNN, pump and dumps that fleeced retirees in Florida condos.
Mia.
The artist. Moonlighting as a money laundress? The pieces slotted. Jake's payout seeded it. Our address her laundering HQ. Tom's phone synced to the family cloud, sloppy. Him. Yielded texts that curdled my gut. Miss you in the shop, he'd send during her errands, heart emojis blooming like weeds. Her replies, soon.
Love.
L's none the wiser. And photos blurry dick pics from the garage. Her in his work shirt, unbuttoned to navel. The flip, one thread from last winter. Her to him. We tell her now. Or it eats us. His can't. She took the fall for me too. For him, what the hell? Rita found me at noon. Hunched over takeout foe. Eyes bloodshot. Plan, she asked. Cross-legged on the futon. I laid it out. Voice steady as a closing argument. Expose the affair to his family. Bible Belt Virginians who disown him faster than a bad bet. Freeze the accounts. Lawyer for divorce and half the house. Anonymous tip to the feds on her scams. Watch her empire crumble from a safe distance. And the secret? Rita probed. Wise to my half-sister haunts. Spill the accident truth. Her manslaughter. My cover. Let karma compound the interest. But that's destruction, she said. Not judging. Just real. You sure?
Was I?
The revenge calculus twisted. Mia deserted. Schemer that she was. Flipping from victim to vampire. Sucking our life dry. But Dom, who'd held me through Jake's services, whispered, we'll make more memories in the dark. Complicit.
Yeah.
But broken. And me, the enabler. The rock that eroded to sand. Controversial calls. Mercy or massacre. Monday. Back at the firm, sick day burned. Excuses thin, I pulled favors. Buddy in white collar at DOJ. Owed me from a merger case. He greenlit a quiet probe on Mia's LLCs. No names yet. Divorce attorney on retainer by lunch. A shark named Kendra who'd gutted her ex for alimony and the labradoodle. Equitable distribution. Kendra purred over Zoom. But with infidelity, we paint her as the serpent in Eden.
Eden.
Our Bethesda bungalow. Apple of our eye. Now the viper's nest. That night, I tailed them. Parked a block from home in Rita's borrowed Prius, stealth mode. Irony. Watched Mia's Jetta pull in. Tom's shotgun. They tumbled out laughing. Her in that red dress from our anniversary 5 years back. Him carrying takeout bags like a date. Door code beeped green. Inside. Lights dimmed to amber. My phone buzzed. Kendra's draft petition. Affair alleged. Assets frozen pending. Hit send. Fingers hovered. Heart hammering like a jury deliberation. Instead, I drove to the old cemetery off Georgia Avenue. Jake Stone a sliver moon under sodium lamps. Hey, kiddo, I whispered. Do wetting my knees. Aunt Mia's playing house with Dad. What do you think? Wind rustled the oaks. No answer. But clarity sharpened, not just payback, but justice. The secret wasn't just hers, it was ours. A chain linking us in lies. Unshackle it, and the flips would fly, her to felon, him to fool, me to free. Tuesday. The probe pinged early, Mia's firm. A front for wire fraud. Victims from Seattle to Savannah. Feds circling. Warrants brewing. I leaked the affair to Tom's sister via a concerned email, screenshots attached, timestamps damning. By evening, her text blew up his phone. WTF? Thomas? That whore? Mia's flip. Panicked voicemails to me.
Él.
We need to talk. It's not what you think. Tom's, come home. Please. I didn't. Crashed at Rita's again. Plotting the climax. Not a scene. Not screams, too operatic.
To them. No.
Surgical. Confront at neutral ground. The Assateague beach where we'd scattered Jake. Dawn Saturday. Text sent. Meet me.
6 Uhr morgens.
The Overlook. They arrived in his truck. Her arm looped in his. Faces drawn like bad sketches. I waited on the sand. Thermos of black coffee steaming. Waves gnashing like accusations. You changed the code. I started. Voice flat as the horizon. Mia flinched. Tom stared at his boots. And the mortgage. Jake's money. My fall. Her eyes widened, busted.
Él.
I save it. I know about the scams. The hacks. The dick pics. Tom's face drained. He rounded on her. What scams? Flip. Her mask cracked. Venom spilling. You think you're clean? Tom? Who covered your DUI in '09?
Ella.
While you plowed me in the guest room that same weekend. Him. That was once grief. Her. Bullshit. 8 years of once. The sand shifted under me. His DUI? The one he'd forgotten. The night Jake was conceived. Champagne pops and bad decisions. I'd paid the fine. Hushed the cop, a favor from a client. Another secret. Born for him. Now out. Flapping like a flag of surrender. Why? I choked. To both.
Mia Snird. Survival.
You two saints. Me the screw-up. But I fixed it, house paid. Life stable. Tom. She loves me.
Él.
We fell. After you shut down. Shut down? Post Jake. I'd armored up. Sex a chore. Touch a trigger. Fair?
No.
But betrayal's not a bomb. Waves crashed. Indifferent. My phone vibrated. DOJ alert. Raid imminent. Cops coming, I said. Casual as tide charts. Mia bolted for the truck. Tom grabbed my arm. Don't. Flip again. Her screeching back. He's mine now. A tussle, hands shoving. Sand flying. No punches, but the air thick with them. Controversial? Hell yes, her fighting for a lie. Him waffling like a politician. Me the architect of the storm. Who was the villain? All of us. Mirrors to our fractures. Sirens wailed distant. Closing. I stepped back. Let the tide decide. The raid hit like a nor'easter, feds and windbreakers swarming the beach access road. Lights strobing the dunes as Mia peeled out in a spray of gravel. Tom lunged after, yelling her name. But I hooked his elbow. Nails biting crescent moons. Let her run. It's over. His eyes, blue as Jake's. Once my anchor, swam with the wreckage. Love curdled to loathing. Loyalty a joke. You set this up, he accused. Not angry, just gutted. Yeah,
I had.
the question hung, hero or heel. We drove back in silence, his truck reeking of her perfume and wet sand. Bethesda blurred past strip malls with Starbucks halos, joggers in Lululemon armor, lives untouched by our soap opera. At the house, the door code yielded to my override, backup I'd programmed. Paranoid's perk.
Inside.
Chaos. Drawers yanked. Laptops seized from her office, our old nursery. Zip ties on the smart fridge like it had laundered the cash itself. Lead agent. A no-nonsense Latina named Vasquez. Nodded me aside. Anonymous tip panned out. Wire fraud. Identity theft, big fish. Mia's flip. From sister to suspect. Her empire evaporating like fog off the bay. Tom collapsed on the couch. Our couch. Jake's cushion still indented from cartoons long faded. How long? He croaked. I could have lied. Spun it soft. But truth's the blade I came to wield. Since the accident. Her hacks.
Your.
Indiscretions. I covered both. His DUI confession tumbled out then. Sloppy as the night. Post-bar. Swerving home. Mia in the passenger seat. Her hand on his thigh sparking the crash that birthed Jake, but killed his wilder twin.
She dared me to drive.
I did. You paid the ticket. Buried it. Buried. Like secrets. Like suns. The feds cleared out by noon, leaving yellow tape fluttering like surrender flags and a warrant for Mia's arrest. She texted from a burner, scrambled coordinates. A motel off I-95 in Delaware. One chance.
Él.
Meet or I spill everything, your lies. His sins. The kid. The kid. Leverage. Her ace. Flipping the script one last time. Tom begged me to call it in. Kendra echoed from her office line. Don't engage. She's cornered. Dangerous. Dangerous?
Mia.
With her yoga-toned arms and Pinterest quotes on forgiveness? But the pull was magnetic, closure or conflagration. I went alone. Dusk bleeding purple over the turnpike. Heartbreak Motel, a neon scar on the marsh. Room 12.
Door ayar.
Her silhouette chain-smoking by the window. Suitcase half-packed like a fugitive's prayer. Sis, she greeted. No tears. Just ash falling like snow. We sat on the sagging bed. Bottle of Jack between us. Irony. Prohibition-era ghosts in a state that legalized weed. You win, she said, pouring slugs. House is yours. Accounts frozen. But the offshore one's got $20K. Yours if you call off the dogs.
Bait.
I sipped. Fire blooming low.
Why? Mia?
8 years squatting. Screwing my husband. Spending my dead kid's blood money. For what? Her laugh cracked like thin ice. Survival.
Él.
Mom's favorite. Remember? The pretty screw-up. You got the house. The hubby. The mini-me. I got scraps. The accident? I panicked, dear. Booze. Your perfect life blinding me. Grabbed the wheel to save him. Not wreck it. Him.
Jake.
My boy. Collateral in her chaos. And Tom, I pressed. Venom sweet. She shrugged. Grief fuck turned habit. He chased the spark you doused. But the money? That was business. Scams paid the mortgage when you two played house poor. Flips cascaded. Her admitting the hacks. The fraud rings she'd roped in desperate designers from Craigslist. Started small, fake logos for dropshipping hustles. Jake's policy? Seed capital. You signed it over.
Él.
Complicit. Complicit. The word hooked deep. I'd enabled.
Covered.
Ignored the rot for the facade of family. And the door code? I demanded. Her eyes gleamed. Schemer's glint. Test run. If you folded, we kept it. If not, well. The island tryst, staged for spectacle, pushing me to break or bolt. The bottle emptied, truths bloated the room. One more, she said, voice slurring south. The DUI. Tom wasn't driving. I was. Swerved to miss a cop, ditched the car, made him take the fall. You paid for my mess again. Again. The chain tightened, her crimes, my confessions, his cowardice. Villain? Her. The perpetual flipper. Mummer of masks. But us? Accomplices in the con. Sirens wailed faint. My tip to Vasquez. Coordinates pinged from her phone's Bluetooth bleed. Mia lunged for the window, but I blocked. Hand on her wrist. Pulse rabbit quick. End it, I whispered. Confess. Or I do for Jake. Her face fractured. Rage. Regret. A sister's plea. You'd bury me? Like you buried him. The door splintered. Feds flooded. Cuffs clicking like karma's castanets. She went quiet. Head high. Flipping one last time to dignity. Back home. Tom waited. Bags packed. Eyes hollow. Divorce papers came, he said, sliding the envelope. Half the house. Clean break.
Clean?
Nothing was. I signed. Pen steady. The ink sealing our unmaking. He left at midnight. Taillights fading to the beltway. Off to his sister's couch. Poetic. The squatter evicted. Weeks blurred. Trial prep. Asset freezes. Therapy with a shrink who specialized in familial implosions. Mia pled out 10 years federal. Restitution pending. Her scams unraveling a web of suckers from coast to coast. Letters came from lockup. Scrawled please. Forgive? We're all monsters. I burned them in the fire pit. Ashes scattering like jakes on the wind. The twist? Buried in discovery. Tom's burner phone logs. Text to a PI 6 months back. Dig on Mia. Suspect fraud. He'd known. Hired eyes while betting her. Flipping from lover to investigator. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. Why not tell me? Protect you, his deposition read. Voice cracking on tape. From the pain. And the truth that I started it all. Started. The flirt. The fall. The fracture. Controversial? Absolutely. His protection a poison pill. Her scheme's a symptom. My cover's the catalyst. No heroes. Just humans hacking through the haze.
Now.
The house echoes mine outright. Mortgage paid by her penance. I coach a new team. Little leaguers with dreams unscarred. Their cheers filling the void. A happy ending? Or by tragic farce? Readers, you debate. Was my revenge righteous? Or just another flip in the family folly? Mia rots in Supermax. Tom in anonymity.
Me?
Rebuilt on ruins. Door code mine alone. But at night, waves crash in dreams. And I wonder, who really paid?